Good evening students. In previous video we have completed the bacteria and their types and reproductions and all the economic importance and harmful effect. Okay, so after that we have to study the cyanobacteria. Okay, cyanobacteria and bacteria both are related to the microorganism group, but the differences of both the groups are already we have studied. So cyanobacteria are generally which is related to the group of microbes, but it is the most different from the bacteria. Why? Because cyanobacteria contains photosynthetic pigment which is also required to fulfill their food requirement. Okay, but in bacteria we have seen that only some of the cases the bacteria possess their food by autotrophic mode of nutrition, because in bacteria also we have also studied the modes of nutrition. Okay, so in this case we are going to study that cyanobacteria are the generally related to bacteria, but they are different for the photosynthetic pigment. And if we compare both the things, generally cyanobacteria is also available in tropical and aquatic, terrestrial, damp region, water region, and most of the places. Okay, so cyanobacteria means it is also an omnipresent organism. Omnipresent organism means it is present in everywhere. Okay, including dams, rivers, aquatic, terrestrials. Okay, all the types of. Now the most important point is that till the 19th century, most important, most of the scientists are generally that time they were confused. Till 19th century they have included in blue green algae without any clarifications. Okay, they have included in blue green algae without any clarification, and we think that a blue green algae means it is related to blue color, and green algae means the certain types of algae which possess autotrophic mode of nutrition, means they are able to perform and prepare their own food, that is called blue green algae. After that, okay, after that several type of microbiologists, okay, most important point, after that several type of microbiologists recommended that the exact and clear cut clarification about the cyanobacteria, and they given a specific name of cyanobacteria on the basis of the international code of nomenclature of bacteria, because cyanobacteria is a term which is familiar with the bacteria but they are different. Only one thing is that cyanobacteria possess photosynthetic and some of the bacteria only possess photosynthetic, and most of the bacteria are generally does not perform any photosynthetic pigment. So here, due to the international code of conduct, bacteria, the microbiologist has given the exact and important distributions of the cyanobacteria. Okay, now we get the exact information after the 19th century. So here we are going to discuss the several features of cyanobacteria, because in your book Civilal and NCERT, if we combine both the book, you will get there is a most of the different features are there, but I have picked only best of 3 to 4 features to explain you, and you all have to remain, you all have to read, and if you get any problem you can ask me. Okay, now the first point is that the cellular organization. Cellular organization means those organisms which their organization means entire body is made up of different types of cells. This is called cellular organization. The cyanobacteria, the cellular organizations of membrane. Membrane means like this, the membrane bound structures. membranes of this class is lower level. इनके जो क्लासेस के जो लेवल्स होती है वो काफी नीचे यानी लोअर लेवल्स के होते हैं, ये ज्यादा मॉडिफाइड नहीं होते हैं, बिकॉज दिस इज केम फ्रॉम द प्रोकैरियोटिक एंड प्रिमिटिव टाइप ऑफ सेल्स एंड दे डोंट हैव proper nucleus. They have nucleoids and incipient nucleus. I already told you that what is the meaning of incipient nucleus. Okay, so most important point we have to discuss that the cellular organization of membrane of this class is lower level, means जो भी इनके cellular organizations होते हैं which is not highly modified because they are primitive prokaryotes होते हैं and they are carried their genetic order from their present age. Okay, most important point. And now we have to discuss that they lack membrane cell organelles and true nucleus. I already told you that cyanobacteria as a prokaryotic and primitive types means they don't have proper nucleus. In place of nucleus, there is a nucleoids and incipient nucleus is there. Okay, and they regulate and do lots of metabolic activity from that portions also. Okay, next. Their membranes are blue in color. इनके जो membranes होते हैं generally it appears as blue in color. Here we have seen that cyanobacteria are blue green algae. Okay, their membranes of the color are generally appears as a blue in color. Why? Because in this phycocyanin is an important pigment which is related to photosynthetic pigment. Okay, in plants we have seen that the leaves colors are generally green. Okay, why? Because the leaves colors are generally green because there is a chlorophyll pigments are available. So in that case there is a chlorophyll not, there is a phycocyanin pigment is available, and due to the availability of that pigment the cyanobacteria appears as a blue. Okay, most important point you have to focus that. So here their membranes are blue in color due to the presence of phycocyanin pigment. It is the most important because in several times most of the pigments are generally asked. Okay, so you have to remember and note down in your copy. Now next point we are going to discuss that it is the most important, and the reproduction is takes place by vegetative reproduction. Okay, vegetative reproduction is the most advanced form because in a certain types of bacteria we have also seen that there is a true vegetative reproduction is available, but there is a lack of sexual reproduction. In place of sexual reproduction there is a conjugation, transduction, transformation is available, but in cyanobacteria there is a not a pure and true sexual reproductions are present. They have only one type of reproduction, and that is vegetative reproduction. Okay, I will tell you in next class also. And now they are capable to nitrogen fixation. Nitrogen fixation in the soils means they have high capacity to improve and enhance the fertility of soil. Okay, most important point, cyanobacteria are also helpful to provide and enhance the soil fertility. Okay, so these are the general characters we have discussed. I think we have discussed the 5 to 6 points, and if that type of questions asked in the exam you have to write only that thing. Okay, now next we are going to discuss that we have discussed cyanobacteria, their habitat where cyanobacteria are found. It is found in most of the places, and we have also discussed the general characters of cyanobacteria, how the cyanobacteria perform their cellular organization, how the cyanobacteria looks, and how the membranes are found in cyanobacteria. Now we have to discuss today the exact model of cyanobacteria, the original shape of cyanobacteria. We know that in bacteria we have discussed so many types of bacteria are there. So in that case cyanobacteria there is a several types of small cyanobacteria is also there. We will discuss detail. And first that is structure of cyanobacteria की अगर हम बात करते हैं तो इनका सबसे पहला स्ट्रक्चर जो होता है थैलस टाइप का होता है. थैलस स्ट्रक्चर मींस इट इज अ वेरी सिंपल एंड ब्रॉड पोर्शंस. ठीक है, छोटा होता है, सिंपल होता है, ब्रॉड पोर्शन दैट इज कॉल्ड थैलस इन cyanobacteria. And most important point is that thallus of some bacteria, cyanobacteria, are unicellular, filamentous and conical thallus. ठीक है, थैलस का मतलब हम लोग जान चुके हैं. अब इसमें हमको देखना है कि जो थैलस होते हैं साइनोबैक्टीरिया का आर जनरली मोस्टली इन यूनिसेलुलर्स होते हैं, फिलामेंटस होते हैं. फिलामेंटस मींस लाइक दिस, एंड दिस इज द स्ट्रक्चर्स ऑफ फिलामेंटस. जो फिलामेंटस टाइप होते हैं व्हिच इज फाउंड इन सीलिया एंड फ्लैजेला आल्सो. ठीक है, एंड कॉनिकल थैलस. कॉनिकल मींस जो कॉनिकल एकदम कॉलोनी बना के रखते हैं. ठीक है, उसी को हम कहते हैं. नाउ अगर हम बात करते हैं, देयर इज अ वन एग्जांपल आई हैव गिवन हियर. दिस इज क्रोकोकस. इट इज अ यूनिसेलुलर. ठीक है, यूनिसेलुलर मींस here you can see that there is only single type of cells, and including there is a bound membrane structures. Okay, and now next we are going to discuss, and that is colonial या Greekopsa. Okay, and this is found in the branch in number. ठीक है, ये आपको ब्रांच में देखने को मिलेगा. और नेक्स्ट अगर हम बात करते हैं ऑक्सिलेटोरिया. ऑक्सिलेटोरिया आर जनरली फिलामेंटस, है ना. देयर इज अ सेवरल टाइप्स ऑफ फिलामेंटस आर जनरली एबल टू सी. ओके, ये जो होते हैं आपके कोलोनियल होते हैं, ये कोक्रोकस होते हैं, यूनिसेलुलर्स होते हैं. एंड नाउ लास्ट इज ऑक्सिलेटोरिया. ऑक्सिलेटोरियाज आर जनरली व्हिच इज you all can see that very clearly. Okay, so Structures of cyanobacteria are generally thallus in nature, and according to the thallus, there is a unicellular, filamentous, and conical, yeah, cornelian. Okay, that type of organs are found in the cyanobacteria. Now we have to discuss the detailed structures of cyanobacteria and how it looks and which type of organelles are present. Okay, for your kind information, I want to tell you that in cyanobacteria there is a most of the organelles are absent, like Golgi bodies, mitochondria, and many more. I will tell you by using a suitable diagram. So you have to okay, here we have to discuss that cyanobacteria and their detailed structure. In previous, we have discussed the structures of cyanobacteria. In place of conical, there is a colonial. Okay, you have to correct it. Colonial. Colonial means there is a large in numbers, means 1, 2, 3, 4, and that type of that make colonial structures. Okay, not a conical. Now we have to discuss that this is the structures of cyanobacteria, and most of the organelles I have not mentioned here, and you have to mention that. And there is the oil droplets, thylakoid, and plasma membrane. Most important functions is that plasma membrane, and outer the plasma membrane there is a small jelly-like substance that is called jelly coat, and jelly coat is also a mucilaginous. Mucilaginous means hota hai chipchipa. Okay, mucilaginous sheath. Okay, and now the most important and genetic material, that is DNA and also ribosomes and cytoplasm. Okay, I have also described cytoplasm and ribosomes already. Now we have to discuss that the different types of organelles and different types of layers which are found in cyanobacteria. The first one is that mucilaginous sheath. Mucilaginous sheath are generally found in the jelly-like substance, and it is the generally flexible in nature and present outside of the cells filament. जो भी cells filament होते हैं ये उनके just बाहर पाए जाते हैं, that is called mucilaginous sheath. Okay, and they are generally jelly-like substance. Okay, and they are generally sticky in nature. Sticky means you know very well. Okay, now next we have to discuss that the cell wall. Okay, the cell wall of the cyanobacteria are generally rigid and more complex, and the made up of that cell wall is a muramic acid. Okay, muramic acid, and the inner cell wall is a made up of aniline and glutamic acid. Most important. Okay, most of the time that type of layer wall is also asked in the exam. So the cell wall are rigid and complex in nature, and they are made up of muramic acids. Okay, and next we have to discuss that protoplasm. Generally, if we touch the protoplasm, so firstly protoplasm are divided into two parts, and that is first is chromoplasm and centroplasm. The both the words are related to protoplasm. Okay, now first one is that chromoplast. Chromo means color. Okay, chromo means color, and color means you know very well. Okay, now chromoplast means peripheral colored portions of protoplasm. जो क्रोमोप्लाज्म होते हैं वो आपके प्रोटोप्लाज्म के कलर्ड और पेरिफेरल सर्कुलर फॉर्म में पाए जाते हैं, जिसको हम क्रोमोप्लास्ट के नाम से जानते हैं. एंड दे आल्सो कंटेन फाइकोसाइनिन एंड फाइकोइरिथ्रिन एंड carotene and chlorophyll A. Okay, here not A, chlorophyll A. Chlorophyll A means they contain lots of pigment, that is phycocyanin, phycoerythrin, carotene and chlorophyll A. Okay, that's why they appeared as a color form. Here peripheral colored, I have mentioned here why colored. Okay, colored means due to the presence of this pigment phycocyanin, phycoerythrin and carotene, they appeared as a colored pigment. Okay, and that is the portion of chromoplast. Now next we have to discuss that centroplasm. Centro is a word which is related to center portions. Okay, centroplasm means they are word related to center portion. Center portion means protoplasm का center portion, that is called centroplasm. ये इनका central portions होता है. It is the central portion of the protoplasm, and it mainly contains, most of the important points is that it mainly contains genetic material, means DNA and RNA. Okay, material, and it lacks nuclear membrane. Okay, there is a most important harmful effect is also there. They are totally lack of nuclear membrane. It means nuclear membranes are not developed in that case, and nucleolus also. Okay, Now we have to go through the most detailed parts. Centroplasm are able to store the scattered DNA. Scattered DNA मतलब जो भी DNA के parts हमारे scattered form में होते हैं, बिखरे हुए होते हैं, ये इनको stores करता है. And devoid of nucleus. Devoid of means not a fully formed nucleus are present. In that case there is a incipient nucleus. ओके, डिवॉइड ऑफ न्यूक्लियस का मतलब होता है इनमें इंसिपिएंट न्यूक्लियस पाया जाता है. सो दिस इज ऑल अबाउट द स्ट्रक्चर्स ऑफ साइनोबैक्टीरिया एंड देयर मेम्ब्रेन्स आल्सो. एंड नेक्स्ट वीडियो वी विल डिस्कस द इकोनॉमिक इंपॉर्टेंस एंड देयर हार्मफुल इफेक्ट, एंड आल्सो we will discuss the reproductions, how reproduction takes place in cyanobacteria. Till then, whatever I have taught you, you all have to revise it. If you get any problems related to biological word, you can ask me. Okay, thank you students.